Whales by Joan Short and Bettina Bird. Illustrated by Deborah Savin. Introduction. Most people know that whales are large animals that live in the oceans. But not many people realize that dolphins and porpoises belong to the group of animals called whales, or cetaceans. Whales, mammals of the sea. Although whales live in the oceans, they are not fish. Whales are mammals. Mammals are animals that feed their young on milk. They also have lungs and breathe air, have a backbone, and are warm-blooded. Mammals are called warm-blooded because their blood temperature does not go up and down when the temperature of their surroundings changes. Physical features. Body. All whales have two front fins, called flippers, and two strong flat tail fins called flukes, which are joined together. Many species of whale also have another fin on their backs. This is called a dorsal fin. Whales have smooth, leathery skin. Under the skin is a thick layer of fat called blubber. Whales have two eyes, one on each side of the head, and they have two ears. The opening of each ear is a tiny hole, about the size of a pinhead, just behind the eyes. Some species of whale have a single nostril or blowhole on top of their head. Other species have twin blowholes. Size. There are at least 75 species of whale, and they range in size from over 98 feet, 30 meters, in length to less than 10 feet, 3 meters. Blue whales are the largest animals that have ever lived. They are even larger than any of the dinosaurs that once roamed the earth. A blue whale may grow over to 98 feet, 30 meters, in length, and weigh more than 20 elephants. One of the smallest whales is the common dolphin. It grows to a length of about 8 feet, 2.5 meters, and weighs about 180 pounds, 82 kilograms. Swimming. When a whale swims, it moves its powerful tail up and down and beats the water with its flukes. Its flippers help the whale to steer and to keep its balance in the water. A whale's streamlined body and smooth skin allow it to slip easily through the water. Breathing and blowing. Whales must come to the surface of the water to breathe through their blowholes. However, most whales can hold their breath underwater for about 10 minutes or more, and sperm whales can stay underwater for more than an hour. When whales come to the surface, they breathe out most of their air from their lungs. This air forms a mist called a spout, or a blow. After whales blow, they breathe in fresh air and then dive again. The two groups of whales. When scientists talk about whales, they divide them into two groups: toothed whales and baleen whales. Toothed whales. All toothed whales have teeth, but the teeth of some species of toothed whale never break through the gums, and so the teeth are not seen. All toothed whales have a single blowhole. Feeding habits. Toothed whales use their jaws and teeth to seize, hold, or bite their prey. Like all whales, they do not chew, but swallow food whole. All toothed whales eat fish, but some eat other sea creatures as well. For example, sperm whales eat mainly giant squid, which live deep in the ocean. Sperm whales dive deeper than any other species of whale in their search for food. Killer whales feed on fish, seals, walruses, and even other whales. They swallow small prey whole and bite pieces out of larger prey. Baleen whales. Baleen whales do not have teeth. Instead, They have long fringes of bristly whalebone that hang down from the upper jaw inside the mouth. The strands of whalebone are called baleen. All baleen whales have double blowholes. Feeding habits. Baleen whales feed on ocean plankton. Plankton is the floating mass of very tiny creatures and plants that drifts in the seas and lakes. When a baleen whale is feeding, it swims slowly with its mouth wide open. The whale's large mouth takes in both plankton and seawater. The seawater strains out and the plankton is trapped by the bristly baleen. The whale then closes its mouth and swallows the food. Social behavior. Whales are known as social animals because they usually live in groups. These groups may be called pods, herds, or schools. Some whales, such as blue whales, usually live in family groups that have a bull, 1 or 2 cows, and several calves. Other whales move across the oceans in larger groups. Humpbacks do this, and so do many dolphins. There may be 20 or more humpbacks in a herd, and hundreds or even thousands of dolphins in a large school or herd. Whales help one another. When a mother sperm whale dives to catch squid, other females in the herd protect her calf. And when a blue whale cow is sick or injured, the bull will often stay with her. Communication. Hearing. All whales have very good hearing, and they communicate mainly by means of sound. Whales can hear a range of sounds, from those that are very low-pitched to those that are very high-pitched. They can also tell from which direction underwater a sound is coming. Producing sound. Whales can produce a variety of sounds. Scientists use underwater microphones called hydrophones to listen to sounds made by whales. Scientists have discovered that a whale makes distress calls if it is injured or in trouble, and that other whales may then come to its assistance. Different species of whale make different sounds to communicate. Sperm whales make clicking sounds. Bowhead whales make low moaning sounds. Dolphins make whistling sounds. Humpback whales make patterns of sound, like music, and their songs may last for several hours. Echolocation. Many species of toothed whale make special sounds that help them to locate objects in the water. The sounds made by whales travel through the water as sound waves. When the sound waves hit an object in the water, they bounce back as echoes, which the whales hear. This process is called echolocation. Echolocation helps the whales to move through water without bumping into obstacles such as rocks. The sounds whales use for echolocation seem to be different from the sounds they use for communication. Dolphins make clicking sounds for echolocation, and they can tell from the echoes where an object is, how large it is, and whether or not it is moving. If it seems that something dangerous lies ahead, dolphins usually swim away from it. If there seems to be no danger, dolphins will often swim close to an object to find out more about it. Reproduction. In some species of whale, a calf is born 8 months after its parents have mated. In other species, the calf is not ready to be born for several more months. Blue whale calves take 11 months. Sperm whale calves take 16 months. Whale calves are born tail first, near the surface of the water. They must start swimming immediately, or they will sink, and they must breathe very soon after they are born, or they will drown. The mother may nudge the calf towards the surface to take its first breath of air. Other female whales may help. Whale calves feed on their mother's milk, but they do not have lips, and they cannot suck. When a whale calf nuzzles one of its mother's milk glands, milk squirts into its mouth. For at least a year, calves swim close to their mothers, who will fight fiercely to protect them. Migration. Some species of baleen whale live most of their lives in warm waters, but other baleen whales migrate from the polar oceans to the tropics. The migrating whales spend the summer months feeding in the cold polar oceans. In the icy cold waters, the whale's blubber prevents their body heat from escaping, and this stops them from getting too cold. But in most species, the newly born calves have very little blubber to keep them warm. So when the polar summer is over, and before the calves are born, the whales migrate to the warm tropical oceans. Here, the pregnant cows give birth to their calves. There is very little plankton in tropical waters, so the migrating whales hardly feed there at all. They survive on the blubber stored under their skin, and the new calves feed on their mother's milk. When the calves are strong enough and have enough blubber, the migration back to the polar feeding grounds begins. Whale hunting. For hundreds of years, people have hunted whales for their blubber, whalebone, and meat. Oil from whale blubber was once used as a fuel for lamps. Whalebone, baleen, was used to stiffen corsets and to make the hoops for hooped skirts. Whale meat was eaten by people in some countries. Early in the 1900s, factories began to use whale oil to make items such as margarine, cosmetics, and soap. Whalebone and whale meat were turned into fertilizer or sold as pet food. Protection. It is estimated that between 1956 and 1966, about 574,000 whales were killed worldwide. So many whales were being killed that it seemed as if some kinds, such as right whales and blue whales, would become extinct. People began to urge governments to stop whaling. By 1982, only Norway, Russia, and Japan were still hunting whales. Japan stopped whaling in 1988. These days, we do not need whale oil. We use other oils. We do not need whalebone. We use plastics. And whale meat is eaten in very few countries. So we do not need to continue to kill whales. Whales should be protected by all countries so that no species becomes extinct.